This is a story for those who wish that they could truly read between the lines of the book they were reading and see the world of the story through the eyes of the author. For those who wish that they could make nonfiction from fiction. For those who wish that dreams were true. This is a story of a group of wayward friends who came together from the far reaches of two worlds to come together and to help make dreams reality. This is Hazeltown Story. Hello and welcome to Hazeltown Story, Episode 9. This is obviously a direct continuation of the Scrying game mini arc. So if you are just joining us for this one, you might want to go and check out the first episode of this, which is, the first episode of the series. Because, this one might be a little bit, you might get a little lost if you are or be missing some context if you are just joining us now. If you need a refresher of where we are, Elmis, who is being played by Carnival, Nelos, who is being played by Deathmaster, and Iravia, who is being played by Torpo, have come across a prison cell that seems to be housing someone. And they just found out that someone's in there, and they opened it up, and they are about to meet them. That will, in fact, be the first thing that we have in this episode. So, don't have much longer to go in this arc. We'll be finished next episode. But, also, just wanted to point out, because it is one thing, this episode actually has a learning moment for me. If you're going to have to bring up names for people, write it down so you don't forget it in the middle of the campaign, so he makes you look like an idiot in the middle of a recording. So there's something to look forward to in this episode, as well as some story and also combat. We got a lot for everyone this episode. And I guess without further ado, let's go ahead and start this episode.
We'll go over to the foot of the bed and then just bang on the wall. Yo, wake up.
Beth. It's like, oh, what do you want? You're not them. Who are you?
I'm me. She is her.
Well,
pointing at Lyla when she was saying that.
Okay. Oh, are you the new people that are taking me? They're basically you my new kidnappers?
I also just look at Lyla.
It's like, no, we're here probably to help you if you're being held hostage. Who are you? And basically he says, he at this point gets in bed. He's like, okay. And basically you see him stand up. From that, you can tell that he is, basically he is around 5 foot. And you can tell now that he is a little bit more he kind of walks over to a table and then turns on a lantern that is on the table, and you can kind of see who he is. He is looks like he is essentially you can tell that he is dragon in appearance. He has he has the head of a dragon, short horns, basically kind of longish gray hair. You can kind of tell that he is slightly older, but you can tell that he is most likely a kobold, which are a race that usually only lives out in this region. But it is most likely a kobold and not someone who is a dragon.
And here I thought kobolds looked like dogs.
That is a different region of kobolds. So he's like, okay, if you truly are basically like, okay, he basically says, look, this place used to be my home. I used to serve the master here. I just came here to pay my respects. And then these bastards are here trying to destroy what memory we had of here.
These perverts.
He just kind of looks. It's like, you can call it them that, I suppose. But no, I just wanted to pay respects.
Not even there.
Oh, right.
Trapped in gun hell.
then so he basically then just sits down. Or that Lyla, and he says, as Lila's like, "Oh, so you know who used to live here?" He's like, "Yes." Um, and he's like, "Okay, if you're trying to, if you're actually trying to here to help, then here. Um, my name's Hawkwind, and I was a retainer for the master. I
Cool.
can't." It's like, "So you're not with them, are you? Um, how did you get here?"
Nightcrawler.
Lila says, "Well, we kind of were on the mountain and we found that we found some weird things we found this layer, and then we found the people who were, I guess, keeping you captive here. We have dealt with a lot of them."
Can you
He's
tell
like,
us what a factory is?
"Factory?
Yes.
Factory. Well, I don't know. We never had a factory in here. I guess factory. I know that they're making those damn robots. You know, now that I hear it, I betcha if like I betcha that when I first came back in here, I did see that there was a they took the old testing room, and they probably did something with that. It's the big room, the large room in the back. Used to be a theater, so we used to do surgeries in.
Surgeries.
Yeah, I mean, the master was an animancer, right? He's probably the one of the better in the region. And this used to be a hospital.
Would
So
explain a lot.
um, it was a hospital for, let's just say, we were trying to help. We were trying to figure out how to apply animancy to some diseases that we hadn't come across before. And this was like one of the leading hospitals for it before, before we actually had the castle hospital system. So once we started to once once the castles started to take over the hospitals, we were kind of one of the uh, top research ones.
And what happened to everyone?
Well, they all left once that happened. I was one of them, and I don't. We just kind of, I guess, abandoned it, and everyone basically started to, you know, once the hospitals got built and they're all fancy, kind of. It was much better when that happened, so we didn't really see a need for this. So
I
we just kind of
see.
abandoned it.
What's your master's name?
That is a good question. I think I forgot to write it down.
Okay.
I was just yelling at a muted mic.
That
No,
happens.
please tell me I.
I love Gun Closet. This is my home.
I noticed.
Uh,
Just gotta take a shot glass full of gun.
Crap! I forgot to write it down.
Just make something up on the spot. Improvise.
Uh, oh
Jeff,
crap!
Jeff the Mighty Dragon.
No, we're not doing that again.
That game's dead.
It is.
Fantasy name generator. Let's see, fantasy names,
Schlongus, the Mighty
dragon
Dragon.
names. Your name is Zoldran.
That's a dumb fucking name.
It is, but that's what the generator gave me.
Why didn't you fucking write it down?
I'm new to this.
Of all
forgot.
the fucking prep, that's the one thing you didn't write down.
Oh, please. As much things as I forget when I don't. Names are
Yeah,
hard.
but like your style is much more improvisational.
Okay, there, I wrote that down. So so Zoldrun, yes, he was the one of the better animancers in the land. Spent the rest of his days in the one of the hospitals in the area. Um, so yeah.
Nelos will then jabber a thumb out to the other occupied cell and say, "Who's your neighbor?"
Oh, him. That actually is my assistant now. His name's Rock.
I see.
Oh, no. Oh no, it's a
Lord.
Japanese salaryman.
Put that down.
I'm so glad you got Zoldran and you got Rock.
Zoldran, Rock, and Hawkman.
Hawkwind.
Hawkwind. What the fuck are these names?
Fuck, names are hard.
You know that? You don't have to tell me.
So yes. Yeah, he's my assistant. I went to go show him the old quarters, and you know, that's that's where you see us now.
Also, a friend of mine in high school told me the best way to come up with fantasy names. Just take a
Oh,
bunch of muscle relaxers, lean back in a recliner, and start saying random words.
I unfortunately I do not have access to that
Which one?
fantasy tech.
Some next level shit, I know.
Uh, so yes. Yeah, so um yeah, he just unfortunately got taken with me.
I'm calling with the Hawkwind.
Um he's like, I guess thanks for freeing me, but I don't know how much I can help here. So um I guess if you can do me a favor, could you like what floor did they put where are we now?
I believe this is basement number 2.
Oh, they put me deep. We should actually be on the floor of this testing room, actually. Um, if you see like the big where we used to have our conferences, basically our kind of uh big meetings. If you go north from there or like into the room, you go past the armory and past the kind of clearance area that should take you to where you need to go.
Cool.
I would say that's where, if there's some factory, I would say that's the biggest room that you could probably put one in. Now, actually, before you go, you got open this door. Can you do me a favor and get Rock's door open as well?
That was the plan.
Okay, so yeah, do the same check that you did before.
Oh,
5
even more
successes.
successes.
So yeah, you open that door, and then once you open that door, Hawkwind goes in there and he's like, basically walks up to the other room, and basically you see, um, basically another kobold of the same size. Hawkwind is more, basically his kind of he his basically his body is more reddish, whereas Rox is more blue. But he is slightly smaller, so you'd say he is much younger. Uh, but basically he wakes up and he's kind of like, basically he is kind of excited. It's like, oh, Hawkwind, are you all right? He's like, yeah, we're good. We're getting out of here. I know where we're at. We're getting out of here. So basically, um, he, uh, he's like, okay, he's like, I hate to bother you. Can you get us to the top floor?
Nelos will look at Lyla.
He's like, sure. I'll get you to the top floor. So basically, Lyla now kind of is escorting them to the. He's like, basically is escorting them to the. He's like, I will backtrack from where we were. So then, yeah, she is going to basically escort them out. So it is now the three of you down here.
Alright. Nelos will go save Iravia from the gun closet, I guess.
Yes.
Okay, so you kind of walk into the store. You all are now meet up in the storage room.
Yeah, there's a lot of guns in here.
Yeah.
It's a lot
Is
of
that all, or
guns.
are you just staring at the guns for the last half hour?
I was just thinking about how y'all are weird for not being able to hear.
Let's see.
Sure, why not? So we found captives, people who used to live here.
Yep.
Oh, can you tell me more about them?
Apparently, we had an army doctor, and they kind of left because of his freedom. So yeah,
Okay. I guess that works.
Okay.
Iravia just lets out a deep sigh knowing she'll have to leave gun. It's all she's known for so long.
Okay. Um. Uh. Let's see. So, with that kind of leaves you the only room that you have not gone into is the room to the north.
According to Hawkwind, the factory is up there.
head there.
Okay. So you go in there. So basically, you go north from the area, the kind of the middle desk area. In there, you come across a. You enter a small room. Uh, that looks like you see basically the door going to it has been basically this almost looks like an airlock kind of thing. It looks like there is a basically the room is relatively empty. It is a smallish room, but it looks like it just leads to a door which is very clearly locked. Uh, it is there is a techno mechanical lock um, that it does look like it is something that you press a button and it looks like there is a speaker there.
All right, the password.
Um, Ravi, do me a favor. Uh,
Yeah.
roll
Yeah.
a uh, roll a vigilance check for me, please.
Okay, let's see. What are my numbers? Vigilance. Okay. Yep. What level check?
Uh, let's call that a let's call that let's call that an average.
Come on, big money, big money.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, fucking what?
Wait,
How?
Those numbers are wrong.
No, not necessarily.
hold on.
That's 2 successes, 2 successes.
That is should be 5 successes, not 9.
Yeah, that's
Uh,
Okay.
there.
Okay.
It did. Okay, so 5 successes, 2 threat. So you go in to kind of like press a button to see if we can do the password. Up at the moment you press it, or right before you press it, you have a very glaring, like like you have a pause, and you have a thought in like that password that the guy gave me. Something didn't seem right about it.
Take a second, turn around. Sure he wasn't fucking with us?
Well, no. We did have to break several fingers and threaten him with a chair to get that, so it's quite possible he was lying.
if worst comes to worst, I could try frying the lock again, just getting us through that way.
Because I will say it is techno-mechanical.
Well, you could try frying it again, or we could go and get the password, the real password from him.
I'd say just fry it.
Cool.
Beating him up is too much effort.
Okay. So Carnival, you want
You
to do a average techno-mechanical check?
All right,
So just zeroing it out just in case.
and then an average. I need.
Yeah, just take it from me. My vast collection of dice.
Why are you
I
not?
love watching Carnival struggle to highlight them.
There you go.
The saddest roll I've ever seen.
Okay, you succeed. So you managed to open the door.
Nice. Well, we're in.
So okay, we are going to let me check something real. I need to see if what my options are. Okay. Someone roll that die.
I want to roll it.
Okay. Ravi, roll the die.
Yeah! Gonna roll the fuck out of it!
2.
Uh okay, so
It's
with
almost a
that,
6.
so with that, Iravia,
Mhm.
roll a vigilance check for me.
Okay, average.
Yes.
Yo, give me my purple back, you son of a bitch. Okay, I'm gonna zero it out. Let's see. I love when it lags a little bit because I'm rolling too much.
Yeah. So you succeed in the very basis sense.
Behold the platonic roll.
Um, so you go and open the door. So basically, imagine the door kind of opens like basically it opens from like bottom to top and kind of shifts or uh yeah, so basically it opens automatically. So Arava, you're in the door frame that's basically going into whatever the next area is. So the moment that you open the door, uh, you can't tell what exactly is beyond the thing because the first thing you see is something something about the size of a let's say a mountain lion uh charges at you.
I've always wanted to wrestle a mountain
Uh
lion.
and basically uh it kind of pounces at you but you kind of dodge out, like kind of shift out of the way, and it kind of goes past you into the room that you're in, and kind of turns around. The three of you, from what you see, uh, it is a what it's supposed to look like is something like the size of a panther or like a mountain lion, for example. But it is an android. Uh, it is something that you could tell has uh, it is basically a mechanical mountain lion that you are dealing with, and it looks very angry. So I need everyone to roll. Oh, what's the? I believe in this case, everyone needs to roll vigilance because we are rolling initiative.
Hell
Right.
yeah! Get your shit away. Okay, so should I just roll then? Because my shit's already there.
Yep.
And it's no purples, right?
Uh, that is correct. It is a simple check.
Roll. 3-2.
So let's see. So Torpa was yours. Yours was 3 success, 2 advantage. Oh, okay. What is your?
1 success with 1 advantage.
Um, see, I need to actually roll cool. What is cool? That is based on presence. Okay. Okay. 1 success, 1 advantage.
Yeah.
Okay. So I need.
2 success, 2 advantage.
Okay, give me 1 sec because I need to roll mine. Okay. Okay, and then Carnival. You roll 2 success, 2 advantage. So you made that actually very easy. So basically, the roll it is going to go Torpo, Carnival, and then Death, and then the line.
Mm.
Yeah, fuck that lion guy.
Okay, so let me just make sure I have the order. Torpo, Carnival. That's not Carnival. Okay, so um, from where you are all at, you are all within short range of this. Uh, let's just call it mechanical mountain lion.
It's
Uh,
basically in between the 3 of us.
yeah. So basically, all right, Iravia, what do you want to do? Also, a reminder that you now have new abilities.
What are mine?
So you just recently picked up Reckless Charge, which is that one was, I believe that is if you
It's just like I take strain.
yeah. So basically, if you move from so basically, just a reminder, you do have your shotgun and you do have your like brawl.
Yep.
So reckless charge. After making a maneuver to move to engage an adversary, your character may suffer 2 strain. To use this talent, they then add 2 successes, 2 threat to the results of your next melee or brawl check. You can also pair this with Bull Rush, which gives whenever you maneuver towards an enemy, you gain 3 advantage.
Wasn't Bull Rush you spend 3 advantage?
No, Bull. Let's see, Bull. Let's see, Bull Rush. No, let's see, Bull
I
Rush.
got Bull Rush here.
When your character makes a brawl, melee check, combat check after using a maneuver to engage a target, you may spend 3 advantage to use this talent to knock the target prone or move them up to 1 range band away from your character. But you essentially get that for free. You
Yeah,
just have to roll it.
But yeah, you know what? Let's reckless charge in with the chair.
Okay.
Cause there was
Um,
that office chair I took from the fucking medical ward.
okay. So in that case, make a yeah, so make a brawl check. That is, I believe, brawl is that always average?
I forget, do I get a bonus from using the chair?
I
Um,
had something that does.
so you get it's a +2 weapon, which is actually the same as your fist.
Okay.
but you would get an advantage for using it.
Okay, well, I'll keep that in mind then.
So you could use the chair. Alternatively, there is also you could also do a two-handed attack, which means that you would have to it would add an additional difficulty. But if you in the net roll, if you got two advantage, that would mean you would get a secondary hit.
Okay, I'll do that then.
Okay. So roll me a brawl check of. I gotta check. Is it average or is it? I think it's always average. Melee. Let's see. Always average. So that will be a 3. So that'll be a hard check.
Let's do this. I'm feeling frisky. Let's
Uh,
go.
Also, a reminder is that you do have 3 story points available to you, which can upgrade one of these to this green here to a proficiency.
You know what? Fuck it. Let's let Lolo have some fun.
Okay. So there.
This is going to be an interesting roll. Because I also have natively the 2 successes and the 2 threats, right? Well, 1 threat, I guess, because of the 1
Yeah.
advantage.
Okay, so you would have. Okay, so what happens is you have 2 success, so you have an additional 2 threat and 2 successes. So essentially that means pushes it up to 4 successes and 2 threat. Unfortunately, that means that your did you decide to hit it with the chair? Well, is one of your would one of your hits would have been the chair?
Yeah.
Okay. So what
Also,
happened?
it's 1 threat, isn't it? Because of 1 advantage conferred by the chair.
Right. So it is 1 threat. Okay, so never mind.
You're not removing my chair from play.
Well, I still need to. It still gives me something I can work with. Okay. So basically, um, you basically just see it and rush toward it, and you try and you hit it with the chair. So let me check to see how much your damage would be from that. That would essentially be. Um,
4 successes. and
Also,
2
you have
threats plus
scything,
2.
so you actually, so your melee now has basically um an additional pierce 1. So you have 4 damage or four successes. So that is
Also, there's a plus 2.
plus 2. So your base is 9. Um, 9 damage. Oh, let's see. What is your
The chair is all powerful.
what is your soak? Your soak is 3. So uh it takes so let me give myself a toy. Close this window up.
Oh no, I played myself.
Where is tools? So so that okay. So you basically rush over and like hit this thing in the head of the chair. It leaves a mark. Like you can tell that you did some damage to it. You didn't break it, but you definitely hurt it.
I've always
And
wanted to fight a mountain lion. Shame it's a robot.
and you are now in there. The one thing is though is that you hit it so hard that with the chair that the chair kind of reverberates in your hand. So you take an additional strain.
Okay.
Yeah. Carnival.
All right. So, my Galaxy Brain idea is like, why not try and take control of the lion? It's an
Okay.
android. It's so.
Okay. We can do that.
And I'm gonna go ahead and spend a story point that if no one else has any problem to give me 3 yellows.
Okay. So let me see what is the deal with that. So control. Default tilt. Yeah, you're going to take 2. So it's going to be a 2.
2 difficulty.
Yeah. Oh wait. Hold on. Let's see. So actually that is going to be a 4.
All right.
Because the skullduggery bonus only applies to locks.
Ah, I see. Mouse, work, damn you. This is probably gonna be bad. Holy
You
shit!
succeed. You have 1 success. So basically, You try, and as you see that it kind of gets stunned from getting hit with the chair, you kind of rush up to it and try and see if you can momentarily take control of it. And what you do is you do manage to hack it. So it um, basically is now in a neutral state.
All right. Nice.
So it just kind of sits there now.
Just vibing, you know.
So congratulations, you have solved that combat encounter.
And now we have the lion as a buddy.
Well, not necessarily.
No.
It is basically you've hit the off switch essentially.
Okay.
You so basically with that you're gonna have to, if you want to actually make it, you're gonna have to do an additional check.
No, because I would not have the strain left.
Yeah. So you kind of take control of it, but at that point you basically just kind of, after you do that, you just kind of sit down and just look like, basically you look like you've just ran a marathon. But actually with that, that means that you can actually recover strain because you actually still solve that combat encounter.
Whew. How much
Um,
strain do I recover?
so that I believe recover a. I want to say you do it's a simple. I believe it's a resilience check, but I'm not 100% certain.
Yes. Roll 1 green.
I think it's like you can roll one of two things. I want to say it's like, you can either roll resilience or discipline.
And that's 2 green, so I guess I'll go with that.
Yep. So
And
everyone can actually roll that.
it's just no, not
Yeah,
against.
it is a simple check.
Three
So you
attains.
recover 3.
All right.
And Tarpo, you can also do that.
What was it?
Roll either resilience or discipline.
Yeah, I actually did something in combat this time instead of just running and hiding.
Okay, just flat resilience and discipline.
Or resilience,
or discipline.
yeah,
Just flat.
Yep, I would say just do discipline.
As we all know, Iravia, bastion of discipline.
You recover 3 as well.
Hell yeah! I'm back to nothing.
All right. So with that, now that you have that with you, you kind of, from that actually, after you kind of deal with that, you see Lyla kind of return to you. So you all 4 are now together, and basically, uh, Lyla goes like, "The hell's that?"
It's the
Robot
lion.
lion. We
Kind
turned
of
it
sad
off.
I couldn't beat it up more.
I was like, "Okay, I guess they're getting creative with the, whatever. Let's just move on ahead."
Come to find out, its weakness is chair.
So, basically, you, um, you move on to there, and then as you go into the door, you do in fact, uh, brings into a small, kind of room that has a few like you see a small room that has like a couple desks in it, like one facing the other.
Do they have chairs?
Um, they do in fact have chairs.
I'm gonna replace my current chair with a newer, fresher one.
Okay. Um, anything else you want to check in the room?
Let's open up the desks.
Um, do a give me a perception check.
Oh Jesus.
Give me a probably an easy.
Okay. Fuck. Where all my? Why are these over here? Who put these here? Who did this?
I think that might have been me.
You fucker! Get it off of there! How dare you? You disgust me. You sick fuck. Spin to win.
Okay.
What the fuck?
So you kind of root through the desks. You don't find anything, but you recover 1 strain, which doesn't matter.
Fucking bullshit.
So you do see one additional door to the north, like up ahead. That does have a window in it, and from what you can tell in the window, the room does seem kind of big. So I guess you'd want to kind of go in there.
Yeah, it makes.
Okay. So you walk into the room and there is a lot to take note of. this room is massive. Like it is about the size of like all like it is almost the size of the floor that you're on, like all the rooms in there that you've been, uh, but in a very large open area. And you as you walk in, you notice basically uh you realize why they call it a factory. It is essentially an automated line that is producing robots.
Time to bust it.
Do you want to take a look around before you start just breaking things?
Yes.
Okay. Um, so you kind of look around, but then as you kind of come into the back of the room, like if you were to walk, like there's machinery in the way, but if you were to walk in the straight, kind of back in the room, you come across something that seems very odd. Um, you come across a door frame that uh does not look like, or basically, you come into a door frame that looks like it's not leading anywhere, but it looks like kind of the inside is glowing,
I'm
and
gonna
you
touch.
see a computer next to it.
I'm gonna touch the door.
It does nothing.
Fucking garbage.
Actually, when you touch it, basically the door or like the kind of it's glowing, kind of like a bluish kind of tint. When you try and touch it, it turns red. And it looks like you hear beeping from the computer next to it. And you kind of look on the computer itself, and it says, um, "Unable to initialize. Please remove obstruction from doorway."
Fuck you too.
So as you kind of uh, you've so the thing is that you've seen or Lila kind of comes to it, and then basically kind of like kind of motions like everyone's like, "Hey, step back from this for a sec."
Sure.
Computer's an asshole. I'm not an obstruction.
And then
That's what
Lila
you
just kind
think.
of looks at it in disbelief. Um, and it was like, "How do they have a teleporter in here?"
Evidently, they're resourceful terrorists.
Basically, the door frame is about like enough that you could get like it's the size of say maybe um I'd say double the length of like a standard door frame. Like it's something you could actually get those boxes through it. Um, but yeah, um, it looks like they somehow managed to have a teleporter that is in the process of as you take a glance, so it looks like something is initializing.
Can we tell where it's going to?
Um, that is something that a computer check could probably check.
Yep, I can take care of that.
Okay, roll a um, since it's definitely active, it's going to be a simple check.
All right. Wait, simple? That means no dice, right?
Sorry, not simple. Easy.
So that's one.
That's one.
3 successes with 1 threat and
What?
2 triumphs.
Okay. Um, so basically you managed to kind of triangulate, and then you notice that it is actually you see on the screen, it actually tells you exactly where it's going. Um, it gives you a longitude and latitude location essentially. Also, it gives a note. Like it basically, it's like it has saved location. And the location it gives is let's just say,
Paste all
um,
those fucking coordinates.
you know what? Let's say it is in Liverpool.
Liverpool. Liver. They're
Is it a
teleporting
pool
these
full of livers?
to Britain?
Why
Or
would
they're
you ever want to
teleporting
go
stuff?
there?
Music history?
Uh,
No.
Lyla Chime is like, did kind of sound like these people are from Britain. So,
God, they're a bunch of British pervert wizards.
um, so
Are they British wizard perverts?
it's like it looks like they're sending this to some place in basically, uh, Lyla just brings out a notepad and just scribbles down the location.
Pervert wizard Brits? Wizard pervert Brits.
Is there any like debris lying around nearby, like a wrench or whatever?
I would say that there are some probably tools like lying around.
All right. Like Nelos will grab a wrench and toss it for the teleporter.
The teleporter is not active at the moment. It is in the process of initializing.
Just
Ah.
bounces off the wall and clatters on the ground. Called me an obstruction.
Well, you are.
Fuck you
uh,
too.
So one thing you could also tell about the room is that there is essentially there's kind of like a catwalk kind of area that, or like there are several catwalks that are kind of going like in a second floor, and you kind of can look and you can see that there is an office up above on the second floor.
Well, while the nerd does nerd shit, let's storm the office.
Sure.
Don't sound so excited.
Okay, so Lyla is actually going to come with, but except she kind of says, we're still missing one of them.
Obviously, and seeing
Yeah,
as
that's why I have the
we haven't
chair.
found.
Uh,
What
so
was
she-
the boss? What was the leader's name again?
Ben.
All right.
So she basically, Lyla is going to, she brings out her weapon and she is going to, let me double check to make sure how these,
Look, there's a reason I reloaded my chair.
yeah, and I need to reload my gun.
Oh.
Okay.
Nelos will just roll her eyes and then lift her arm up and make like a shotgun motion on it.
Okay, but do you make the noise with your mouth too? This is very important.
No.
Howard.
I'm going to go ahead and do that. Let's see. Okay, so she is going to do her signature spell, which I believe that combined average. So that should be a hard wizardry. Okay, borrow some of yours. This and this. Okay. Damn. So she fails to do that. So basically, what happens is that she kind of like she tries to do it, but it's like she kind of like shakes it, realizing it's like it looks like she's having a little bit of trouble getting it off. So, um, you two kind of go up ahead, and she's kind of walking behind, trying to do it again. I'm gonna give her one more attempt. Okay, so she loads it. So basically, as you're all walking to the thing, she does manage to load her gun. Basically, uh, you can kind of see it start to glow. So she is now loaded and ready to go for combat. Um, so okay. Basically, the three of you, kind of go up to the office and kind of are at the
Mhm.
door. What do you choose to do?
There are windows, right?
Um, no, this is just a door. This
What
is a
kind of
solid door.
door?
Well,
It's like it's a standard like office door.
Let's see, like, what kind of lock?
There is no lock.
Oh, okay, let's kick it down.
there are windows on like the rest of the office?
No, there isn't.
You said there were.
On the lower floor. You know what? Actually, there would be windows on the upper floor as well that can kind of look down into what it's doing. Do you want to the way you kind of came across? You would not have been seen.
Want to
So
stealthily take a peek inside.
okay, one of you roll stealth for me.
Good question. Who is better at stealth? I got 2 greens.
So do I. For reasons, this class skill.
It's because you have dash and rogue.
Have this stuff back.
My number of dice are growing by the day.
All right. 2 greens. Anything else?
Let's call that a give it a simple check.
Okay, so just 1.
Yeah. Excuse me, easy, because simple is something different. But yeah, 1. Okay. So basically what you manage to do is you kind of manage to sneak into the office, And basically, from what you see,
Wait, I'm
basically,
not sneaking into the office. I'm looking in the
no,
windows.
sorry, looking at the windows. From what you see by looking at the window, you kind of peek in there. You do see that he is like you see someone in there, frantically typing on a computer, uh, and you see that he is typing one-handed. In the other hand, he has uh, essentially an AK in it, and he is basically typing and looking in, and basically what he happens to kind of take a look up for a second, and he sees like the top of your head. Like he doesn't quite understand what it is, so he kind of like sees it and then kind of uh doesn't like know where to look, and he basically reacts to that by basically um uh he basically gets
Freaked out and starts firing blindly.
how about that? Yeah, so he starts firing blindly and the window starts to shatter. But you are
No.
not within the firing range, so you would not be in danger yet.
I think he knows we're here.
Thank you for listening to Hazeltown Story. If you would like to get updates on this show and many other shows hosted by me, LoloDePuzlo, you can follow at Hazeltown Story on Twitter. And if you would like to get to know me more from a personal standpoint, you can follow my personal Twitter at LoloDePuzlo. If you would like to watch this be recorded live, you can go to twitch.tv/LoloDePuzlo and follow the channel for notifications of when this show, as well as other shows like Retro Rank Rhapsody, are being recorded. If you would like to add this podcast to your podcatcher of choice, you can search for WLDP Hazeltown Radio and find us on most major podcatching search engines. Or you can manually add rss.hazeltown.life to your podcatcher. Thank you for listening, and I hope you come around for the next episode.